start off with the opening statement.
Yeah, just still appreciate the opportunity to be a part of Volleyball Day in Nebraska, and once in a lifetime deal. Score didn't turn out how we wanted it to, and so we're all competitors, and we don't love that aspect. But big picture, what a day! Unbelievable. Look out there right now, and this is something that our players are going to remember for a long time. So lots of good things. We're optimistic about our group. Wayne State's got a heck of a team. They're a little bit further along, a little older, made a few less young player mistakes, and probably just a good example of where we're trying to get hopefully later in the season. But all in all, heck of a day, and proud to be a Loper, and this whole thing's just unbelievable.
How'd you prepare the team for playing in an environment like this today?
Yeah, I don't think we took a whole lot of time trying to prepare for this event specifically. We did go outside yesterday on a sport court, kind of a makeshift setup, and that was really our first opportunity to be outside. Went out there at about 5 o'clock, so we had kind of a split practice yesterday. We did come in this morning and get on the court, and that was helpful. I don't know that it played a factor. If it did, it was small. I'm not sure it would have affected the outcome, but we tried to be a little bit prepared, but also keep in mind that this weekend, as far as real matches are concerned, going into our first tournament, most of our focus was on that. But we did a little bit, and I'm sure they did the same thing. And there were some stretches that looked a lot like real volleyball, and then a few stretches where it was maybe 75-80% of real volleyball. And they handled that a little bit better than we did at times. And the rallies went on for a while until they could get a ball to one of their middles, and then the rally was over a lot of the time.
How valuable was it to play a team like Wayne State in an exhibition when it doesn't actually impact your record?
Yeah, it was a nothing to lose situation for us other than to gain some experience and, a little bit of a shot to the pride, that's for sure. But when you do have some young players, which we do, especially in those middle positions, we have mostly freshmen and sophomores, you don't have to look very far, to the other side of the net to see probably the best pair of middles in the country. And so they expose all the mistakes you make, and they make you better as far as, trying to run offense on your own side. And so you can kind of think back to this the rest of the season when it comes to practice time and training and things like that. So, we want to be a team that is capable of going toe-to-toe with Wayne State when we get to the end of the season, and we know we got to get to work.
What was the most notable factor your team had to deal with today?
Most of it was them, and that was a bad matchup for us. It felt like we did some things pretty well. I thought we passed really well. We missed too many serves, and we missed them the wrong way. That was one of the things we did talk about going into the game, was when you're on the north side, I think it was, you had the wind in your face. You got to get the ball up. You can drive it. You can hit it harder. And we just missed too many into the net. You can't miss into the net on those. And we did that a few critical times. And so, every now and then the ball goes out to a pin and the wind catches it a little bit and it throws off your timing. And we had to deal with a little bit of that, but so did they. So I thought it was hard for outsides to get kills. But we still did that at stretches. I didn't think we did anything really poorly, but we didn't do enough.
So now you've played the number 3 and 4 teams in poll in exhibition matches. You talk about what you got to work on. What have you done well?
Yeah, our ball control I thought was really good. Our serve receive gave us a chance in every rally. It's deeper than it was last year. I thought we played mostly good defense. The tips that hurt us are frustrating. That's something we got to get into the gym and give some attention to, because we made some nice plays on balls that were hit hard, but they're really experienced and they're well trained, and then they find the holes and push balls to the middle and things like that. So we have to get to work on that. I still think we can score from the pins, both Jaden Ferguson and we have 3 or 4 lefts that I think once they get up and running are going to be able to give people trouble. I thought Peyton Neff did some nice things as a third-year player now, and so and also our middles are going to get better. They're going to get nothing but better. We have good things going in a positive direction there, and it might be a little bit by committee, but at some point we'll settle into something that I think gives us a chance.
There was so much build up to this event. Did it meet your expectations now that it's over?
I think it did. There were so many unknowns. I think that was the biggest part for me, was just, how's this going to work? What's it going to look like? What's it going to feel like? And so a lot of it, I figured it would be hot. I figured there would be a little bit of sun and wind. We actually probably could have had it a whole lot worse as far as the weather is concerned. But the buzz and the energy and the enthusiasm for the game and the fact that it was so special, I think, exceeded expectations. And we were treated fantastic, and our players got the royal treatment from the time we got off the bus. And so hospitality was fantastic, and everything about it I think has been positive, other than the dang scoreboard.
Coach, I'm sure you're able to take a moment to kind of absorb it. What was that moment like for you, for someone that's spent 25 years in volleyball?
Yeah, I think you stop and think about how far the game has come, and I have been doing this for a while, and I have a story similar to a lot of people. The game was kind of thrown at me when I was a high school teacher and coach, and so you think about the gyms you played in, the equipment you used, and what the game used to look like, even during my time at UNK, and now that something like this can happen. And so you look around and you just think, it's really all the doing of the student athletes and the people who cared for the game to get it to this point, because it's kind of been done really on its own. It wasn't propped up by anything. It wasn't attached to anything else. It's kind of our own thing. Volleyball has just kind of made its way into the mainstream, and it just has blown up. And so now you look at something like this and you just kind of shake your head, and you never would have thought it could happen.
You had all the electricity and buzz from this match. You come back in less than 48 hours and you're playing in front of less than 200 people.
Yeah.
Where's your team going to be mentally?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a concern. And it was a concern going all the way back, that, you have something like this that's so unique and special that you kind of look to, and it's going to be a big part of your season, but your season hasn't even really started yet. So the teams we play this weekend couldn't care less that we were here playing outdoors in a giant stadium in, one of the most unique sporting events of all time. They just are going to try to beat us. So we're going to have to find a way to kind of get our minds back into the mode of playing volleyball and trying to get some wins on the board and put ourselves in a place where we have some momentum going into the season.
Anything else?
First time you had to put sunscreen on your dome for a match?
Absolutely. I sprayed it on thick too, so I better not wake up tomorrow with a big sunburn. I'll be irritated.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate everybody coming.